All right, let's dive in and pull back the curtain on getting your beginner forklift certification. If you've ever wondered what it takes to get started in this super important industry, or maybe just how fast you could be on the job, you have come to the right place. So let me just start by asking a wild question. Do you think you could be fully certified to operate a forklift by this time tomorrow? The answer, well, it might actually shock you. Stick around because we're going to break down exactly how that's not just possible, but, pretty normal. Okay, so first things first. Why is this certification such a big deal? This isn't just about being good at driving. It's about the fundamental rules of safety in the law that run every single worksite. The biggest rule of all, it's required by law. Simple as that. In the United States, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, you've probably heard of them as OSHA, they mandate that every single forklift operator has to be trained and certified. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, let's clear up something that trips a lot of people up. We often hear the term forklift license, right? But in the US, that's not really the right term. What you're getting is a certification. And this is a really important distinction because it means the legal responsibility for safety training falls squarely on your employer. That's why they take it so seriously. And the consequences for not following the rules? They're pretty serious. Unsupervised operation without that certification is totally illegal. We're talking heavy fines for not just the company, but for the operator too. To put it simply, that certification is your non-negotiable ticket to ride. Okay, so you get it. You need it. Let's move on to the next couple of questions that are probably on your mind. How long is this whole thing going to take, and what's it going to cost me? Hey, remember that question I asked at the very beginning? Well, here is your answer. Yes, it is incredibly common for a total beginner to go from square one to fully certified in just a single day. So how does that work? Well, a typical beginner course is built to last about 6 to 8 hours. You'll spend a few hours in a classroom setting, learning all the rules and safety stuff, and then you'll move right on to the hands-on part, where you get evaluated on an actual forklift, all in the same day. All right, so time is one thing, but what about the money? Let's break down the different price ranges you can probably expect. As you can see on this chart, the costs really do vary depending on the format. So on the low ends, that first bar shows an online-only theory course, which can be as cheap as $50 or $60. In the middle, you have a blended program that's online theory plus an in-person evaluation, which usually runs between $150 and $300. And then at the top end, a full course at a specialized facility could be anywhere from $250 to over $500. But here is a fantastic pro tip, and this is a big one. You might not have to pay for any of it. Since OSHA compliance is legally the employer's job, it's super common for companies to cover the entire cost. That's definitely something to look for when you're job hunting. It really shows a company cares about safety and its employees. So you're ready to sign up. What are you actually going to be learning? Well, the training is pretty neatly broken down into two essential and pretty different parts. Every OSHA-compliant program has these two halves. First, you got the classroom theory. You can often do this online. This is all the book smarts. Then, second, you have the hands-on evaluation. This is where you prove you can actually use that knowledge safely on the machine. You have to pass both. No way around it. So in that theory part, you're going to cover all the core knowledge, things like the critical OSHA safety standards, understanding the different kinds of forklifts and their controls, how to do a proper inspection before you even start it up, and a huge focus on recognizing hazards in the workplace. Then comes the practical test. This is where the rubber meets the road. An instructor will literally watch you perform an inspection, check out your safe driving skills, and see how you operate the machine and handle loads, all while they're supervising you. This is where you prove you can do the job without being a danger to yourself or anyone else. So you've passed the written part, you've aced the hands-on evaluation. What's next? Well, you get what you came for, the official certification. You'll get an official certification card or some kind of document. This is your proof. It's what tells any employer, hey, this person has been trained, they've been evaluated, and they're a competent and safe operator. So how long is it good for? According to OSHA, your forklift certification is valid for a full 3 years. The whole life cycle is pretty simple, really. You do your initial training, you operate safely for 3 years, and then you just take a renewal course before it expires. It's just a continuous cycle of making sure you're up to date on safety. But, and this is an important but, there are some exceptions.
You will have to recertify sooner than 3 years if you get into an accident, if you're seen operating unsafely, or if you get assigned to a totally new type of forklift that you haven't been trained on. And look, getting certified isn't the end of the road. Your beginner training is just the foundation, right? It's all about basic safety and operation. From there, you can move up to advanced training for specialized machines like reach trucks or order pickers, or even learn to operate in high-risk environments. There's always another step to take. So, as we've seen, getting certified is fast, it's accessible, and it's the required first step into a really critical job. A major career move could literally be just one day away. So the only question left is, are you ready to take it?